Welcome in, friends, to practice. You are most invited to join for this. And today, our practice is going to be an opportunity for you to check in and check out. What I mean by that, it's a chance in your day to pause with whatever you're doing, whether it's work or school or busyness or activities, and just check back in with yourself through an asana practice, one that will be relatively steady and straightforward, that will open us up and move us into space. But at the same time, in this practice where we're checking in, it also gives us this space to check out from the rest of the world. I know that for me, it becomes more and more tempting to kind of do things while still having one ear in something else, one part of my brain somewhere else, one part of my thoughts somewhere else. And so these days in the yoga practice, one of the things for me that I'm really trying to focus on is when I'm here, I'm here. And what that tends to mean is I need to check out from everything else going on, and I need to stay here and be in this room, in this moment. And so as you arrive on the mat, if you're already on the floor, wonderful. And if not, just go ahead and start to lie down on your back, knees bent, feet on the floor. We call this a constructed rest pose. And just put yourself in a position where you can let the whole body settle and feel yourself land. Now, what I love about these practices is that there's an opportunity for us to move in a direction that's unknown. Right? In a lot of ways with these practices here, I don't give you a full description or insight into what we're doing. And that's very intentional because there's lots of other practices that give you a full physical breakdown or a philosophical approach. This is very much come and receive. It kind of reminds me of those times in my life when I was maybe a little kid where you come to dinner and you eat what's served to you. You get given what's the meal of the day. And what's great about that is you know that it's coming from a place of love, support, education, insight, information. But at the same time, you don't have to think about, does this work for me? Do I need this today? Do I want this today? Can I just come and receive? And that in a lot of ways is such a rarity to be in trusted hands to receive in a meaningful way. How does the body feel as it settles? And at the same time, perhaps can you start to take a little bit of a deeper breath than you've been taking up until this point today? And maybe that's as simple as a full breath in and a full breath out. And you can do this even on the floor. You can inhale, draw your shoulders all the way up to your ears. And as you exhale, draw them all the way down towards your heels. And just notice how the body breathes as it settles. And it really doesn't matter how busy your day is or how relaxed your day is. When you check in to check out, it's probably one of the first times today you've committed to doing one thing as opposed to a million things. Right? You can be in a nice, beautiful, sunny place on a beach still doing a million things, and you can do that also in a rainy, cold, city. The beauty of a yoga mat or a yoga practice is it's your own little island that's away from all of those things. And in doing so, even by settling into the floor for a few minutes, you're not just signaling to the mind to quieten, you're signaling to the nervous system to settle and the body to soften. But it also is for you to start to regulate and receive how that works for you. And sometimes moments like this can be exactly what you need, and other times maybe you're not quite ready for this much stillness yet, and that's okay. And we'll have both on option as we practice. So let's do this as you begin, and I'll join you on the floor now. And you don't need your eyes, you need your ears more than anything in a practice like this. And as you're on the floor, very simply, I'd like you to take your hands and reach them out wide to the side, so like a big T shape. Turn the palms up towards the ceiling. And then on your inhale, reach them out wide and up. So your arms are making a big circle up towards the ceiling. The fingertips just barely touch. And then exhale, bring them back to the floor. I know it's dead simple, but work with me here. Follow along. Inhale, reach, rise, and expand. Exhale, widen and open. Keep the arms long, reach the fingertips away. Inhale. And then exhale. Good. That's simple. Leave them on the floor now. Take your left leg and straighten it out, down towards the mat. Flex your left toe, and then inhale your right knee to your chest. And then as you exhale, straighten the leg as much as it goes, circle it towards the floor, graze the floor with your heel as you bring it back in. So it becomes a circular action. Inhale. Exhale. Don't put it down, just lightly touch the floor. Inhale. Exhale. Do that one more time. Inhale. Exhale. This time leave it on the floor long to your left knee. Inhale, left knee rises. Exhale, cycle it out. And again, don't force your leg to be straight. Your hamstrings might not even be warm yet. Breathe in. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale, please. Exhale. Put both heels on the floor. Shavasana like the shape. Take a big breath in and a long breath out. Draw both knees into your chest. Give yourself a little hug in and up. You can lift your head and shoulders if you want, or you can keep it on the floor if that's a little bit easier, and just let the body go a little bit into a rocking action, side to side, a little front to back, rolling of the hips. And what you might notice, just like I am, is that you yawn or you sigh, and the body just starts to respond to the softness in a way that it feels like it's okay to release. And don't get me wrong, we are still going to do some active vinyasa. There will be some dynamic movements in a moment, but it doesn't mean that we can't really nurture the body into action by simply just being a little bit more present with soft and subtleness. All right, now from here, keep your right knee to your chest, float your left heel off the floor so it's hovering. Point out through the ball of the foot or the heel of the foot, your choice as long as it's active, and then take your right leg and extend it towards the ceiling. Now, it might not straighten because of the length of the hamstrings early on in the practice, so a bent knee is totally fine. Either which way, take your hand and rub it through the back of your hamstring. So essentially that warmth and that friction is trying to help to just wake up that leg. Good, take a big breath in. Keep the legs long, and then switch. Wake up the other leg, please. Good, one more inhale in here. Long exhale. Switch the legs back. Bottom leg should be straight, and it doesn't matter if the top leg is bent or not. Big breath in. Long breath out. Switch the legs. Good. Last breath in. Long breath out. Bend both knees to your chest, rock yourself back, rock yourself up for a moment. You can either hover in a boat, or you can kind of put the toes down if it's a bit too strong to begin, and then grab your strap. And as you grab your strap, I want you to keep it very simple here. And my hope is that you do know how to buckle a strap. If not, I'll give you a fast track when we get there. But for the moment, all I want you to do is simply take your strap apart, loop it under your right foot, and then come on back down to the floor. Good. As you come back down to the floor, make sure you're long enough in the body where the right leg can extend and your hands can grab the strap and slide down to the floor where the elbows can come all the way down to the earth. So you're not carrying weight in the arms or the shoulders. Now as you do this, the strap goes into the ball of the foot, and I want you to push the strap away and then flex. Push the strap away and then flex. Push the strap away and flex. So you're starting to engage now the calf muscles as you press and flex. We okay there? Can you be okay there? Good. Now move both straps into your right hand. So the same hand, same leg. Keep your elbow on the ground. That's important because it anchors us. And then let the heel of the right foot come to the right. Now what you'll notice is that your right arm has to pull back to the midline. Right? It pulls it back to the midline, but you keep your elbow down. And now as the heel moves to the right side of your mat, start to move your toes towards your right ear. So it starts to lift up. It might only go a millimeter or two because it can be quite strong in the back of the hamstrings. But what we're doing now is we're anchoring off the right hand and making the right foot hold itself up. Good, take a big breath in. Long breath out. Now if you need your left hand to help, bring that right leg back up. Switch the legs in the air. Good. And putting your right leg down, if that feels like it's too much going on, after you've done that stretch work, just bend your knee, same thing. Good, start here, one hand in each strap, elbows down to the floor, point and flex. Point and flex. Point and flex. So that's moving the calf. Good. Move both straps into your left hand, anchor down through the left elbow, and let the left leg go left. If you need to hold on the strap with both hands, do so. What I don't want you to do is I don't want this left hand to shoot out to go to the foot. I want the elbow to stay on the floor. So for a lot of you probably need to hold the strap with your other hand. That's going to ensure that the hip and the hamstring aren't going too far. It also helps to re-anchor the body towards the middle line. Good, take a big breath in. Long breath out. Bring it back through the middle. Good. And now put both feet in the strap, please. Good. This time, as you renegotiate the strap, loop the strap around once, twice. So you're kind of in a bent elbow as if you're drawing the strap down from the feet, right? Just feel that action of pulling it down for tautness. And if, again, depending on your limb length, if you want to do one more, you're welcome to do a third kind of loop. Depends on where you are. 1, 2, maybe I'll go 3 today. The more loops you do, the more dynamic it becomes. So now this becomes a version of Viparita Karani with yourself drawing the heels up and the balls of the feet down with the strap. Good, take a big breath in. Long breath out. And then start to add a little bit of movement. You can call it like a rocking movement or a front to back movement, but it's this feeling now to keep the tension of the strap to rock yourself forward and back. And then as you do that, in a moment or two, I'd like you to rock yourself up into a version of a boat pose with the strap. Okay, good. Now, take your elbows out wide and then wrap them down to the floor. That's gonna help draw the scapulas behind you. Lift the center of your chest up, pull the feet towards you through the strap, let the knees bend. Good, sit your heart a little bit higher. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, can you stay in the pose but start to loosen the straps? So now it just becomes, can I be in the same place with the legs as the strap kind of starts to move itself out of the way? Good, take a big breath in here. Long breath out. Cross your ankles. Place them underneath you. Step back to a tabletop position. And what we've done effectively is just started to warm the legs up without having to stand on them to do it. So now as you step back into your first tabletop, just notice how that feels in the leg line. Take a very simple, basic tabletop warm-up. Circle the shoulders, right? Circle the hips. Move things forward and back. But what I'd like you to do at the same time is take your right leg, stretch it right behind you, flex the toes, and rock a little bit side to side, or back to front. And just notice how that right leg line kind of starts to open a little bit more. And at the same time, before we do the left side, you can have a look in here. What I'd like you to do with this right leg is I'd like you to bring it forward, almost like it's a half pigeon leg wherever it reaches. The knee might not reach the floor. And if you need to, you put a block under the front shin, and you just allow yourself to rock back just a little bit to feel as if the external rotation is starting to open itself up a little bit. Again, don't move into a big range or pose just because you can. For the moment, what we're doing is just creating space. And then ever so slightly, lift it up off the block. Try not to drag the floor. Send it back behind you. You can literally leave the block here. Do the left side. Rock it back. Very nice. Good, and then take that knee forward. Externally rotate it. Place it on the block if you need it. Start to peel that left thigh open. And so what I mean by peel that left thigh open, I want you to think about this left hip drawing back and down, as opposed to just trying to kind of slide the right knee further back. So I'm just really lengthening that left bum cheek back and down. Good, take a big breath in here. Lift it up, send it back, tabletop position. Beautiful. Tuck your knees, please. Rise up, tabletop. Take a big breath in, and then send yourself back to a down dog. Welcome in. And one of the nicest things I'm really trying to do these days is integrate into the practice in different ways each time. It can be so easy just to get stuck in this whole child's pose, into tabletop, into sun salutations. Let's explore what it's like to feel into different spaces in the body. In your downward facing dog, join me here with some down dog twists. So this is what the feeling will look like. Shorten your dog about 6 to 8 centimeters. Lift your heels nice and high. Breathe all the way in. And as you exhale, press both knees to the right, heel spin to the left. Good. Take it all the way up. Do the other side. Inhale, take it all the way up. On the third time, knees out wide, heels spin in, and it's almost like a floating child's pose. Good, and do that again. Breathe in. Knees spin one side. Inhale. Other side. Inhale. Split the knees. Good. Meet me in plank. Take a big breath in. Now do a chaturanga. Come all the way down to the floor. As you find the floor, take a very simple Sphinx pose. So come on up onto the forearms. First Sphinx pose is just to kind of get the back bend into action, the rhomboids into engagement. And I want you to intentionally, watch me, drop the shoulders down, draw the shoulders down the back, and then lift the center of your heart. Good. Do that again. Try this. Shoulders to ears, shoulder blades together, shoulder blades down the back, lift the center of your heart. And we're starting to feel that gentle curve in the upper cervical spine. Take a big breath in, and then exhale, release your forehead to the floor. How does that feel as you start to settle in? All right, take a cobra pose. Please breathe in and up. And then tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Now again, as we flow through a practice like this, continue to check in with how this works for you. And one of the best things I find in a practice is sometimes I notice in myself that I need something else. This is too slow, I want something faster. This is too low to the ground, I want something higher. That's great. Your job every time you come to a yoga practice isn't to love the practice in the way that it's offered. Every time a meal is served to me, it doesn't mean I need to love everything about it. It means I need to know everything about it, understand the intention behind it, and use that as a way to give me more insight into the world of myself. You're in a downward facing dog, if not already. Take a big breath in. Long breath out. Lift your right leg to the sky, please. Step forward through a low lunge. Bring a block with you and place a block here under your back left thigh. So the thigh will match the block, and you'll see this little triangle being created from the block to the back thigh and the floor. Just enough that you can push this block forward. And by doing that, when I push this block forward, it means now that there's engagement, and the back left hip is drawing forward. At the same time, slide this right foot back a little bit so I can lift the heel off the ground. This is now going to destabilize the front leg, anchor that back thigh into action. Now I need to lift this left knee off the floor a few millimeters. Now it might not look like a lot, but it feels like a lot. So everything is pushing and lifting. Hips are driving forward, heart is now lifting, and hands can start to reach up. Good, this is starting to create a back bend in the body if you want it. And you can reach your hands any height, up and over depending on shoulder flexion. Take a big breath in. Exhale, fingertips to the floor. Everything else is engaged. Heel's still lifted, block is still pushing. Now, lift the knee, the block will drop. Beautiful. From here, put the right heel down, active in the legs, and then step to the top of your mat. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, stand. And part of this is just understanding that these pieces are going to flow together. Inhale, hands sweep up high to the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Take a halfway lift of your choice and step back through a plank pose. Move the block if it's in the way. Chaturanga Dandasana, please, all the way down. Cobra or up dog, however warm you're ready to go. And then downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg goes all the way up. Exhale, step forward to that same lunge. Right knee down. Block comes into place. Now this steadiness in the practice comes from, a lot of times when we do these practices, the needs of the day. I need personally something a little bit steadier and slower. I've been a little bit food sick, a little bit run down. You might need it for other reasons. You also might need something else, and that's okay. You'll know in this practice or anytime you come back to it that this is what this is about. Okay, bring that left foot back so the heel can lift. So I'm the ball of the front foot, ball of the back foot. Right knee comes off ever so slightly. Hands go to the distance that work for the low lunge. Take a big breath in, please. Exhale, hands to fingertips. Drops the block, lowers the heel, steps to the top of the mat, chair pose, Utkatasana, Tadasana. Inhale, fold. Now we smooth all this out and do it together. Halfway lift, step back, Chaturanga if you want it, upward facing dog, cobra, downward facing dog. Get ready to flow this now. We're not going to do it with the block, but I need those same ideas in action. Check in right now. Inhale, right leg to the sky. Exhale, step to low lunge. But this time, keep your left knee off the floor ever so slightly. Inhale, hands go straight up like the block is there. Exhale, fingertips down to the floor. Yes. Step to the top of your mat. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, Tadasana. Modification. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Step it back, Chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. You guys are doing a wonderful flow. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Exhale, step forward to the lunge. Remember, both heels are off the floor. Inhale. Exhale, I forgot it the first side too. Heel goes down, step forward. Inhale. Exhale. Again, hand sweep up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Now I want you to do this flow one more time. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Really focus in and find it. Right leg to the sky, no heels on the floor. Exhale, step straight to the ball of your foot. Shorten your stance, bend your left knee. Inhale, everything rises. Exhale, hands to the fingertips. Right heel down, step forward. Inhale, chair. Exhale, stand. Inhale, Tadasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Step back, chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. Downward facing dog, left side, last part. Left leg goes. Exhale, just to the balls of the feet. Inhale, we rise. Remember those blocks. Exhale to the floor. Heel goes down, step forward. Inhale, chair. Exhale, stand. Yes. Sweep your hands to the sky, breathe all the way in. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift is good. Step back, chaturanga dandasana. Cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Meet me in plank pose, have your blocks nearby. Actually, sorry, have your hands under your blocks. Just here. And so what was really interesting about now is probably in the first 5-10 minutes of practice, it felt like we weren't doing much of anything. And now as we start to slowly build a flow, I know in my body today, I feel a little bit more prepared for it. Now, hands are on the blocks for the reason of I want a little bit of height and I want the ability to be able to ensure my hands are doing hasta bandha work, gripping work. So actually put your knees down first, check in. This is how I want your hands. If this is a block, excuse me. If this is the block, I want your hand on the heel of the block, 3 fingers on the front of the block, thumb on the side, pinky on the side. That means that you have what's called grip fingers, break fingers, your pinky and your thumb, and your heel to press with. So you're in a plank pose here. Take a big breath in, press through the heels of your hands, downward facing dog. Good, same again. Inhale to plank. Use your front 3 fingers to grip the block if you need. Press through the heels of your hands, downward facing dog. Inhale, come all the way back up, pause. Now from here, what I'd love you to do is to stabilize the ability to hold the space. Now move everything here into your right hand, please. And just take the block and take the right block forward 1/3 of the way higher than the other block. Right? So it's 1/3 of the way higher than the other block. Good, bring your feet together, please. As you do that, spin the heels, side plank. And what you'll notice is that the body starts to form a Tadasana-like shape in the carriage. That's why you shift the feet forward. Stack the feet on top, so now your left foot's on top of your right foot. Take a big breath in, long breath out. Now all I'd like you to do is keep the shape of side plank, reach down with your top left finger, touch the block, curl, and bring it back up. Inhale is all the way up. Exhale, touch the block. If that feels too easy for your movements, as you curl down, touch the block that's under your right hand. So now you're taking a twist. If it's too strong, put your knee down. Good, do 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more, inhale. Good, come back to the plank. Walk your block back. Drop your knees down. Tuck your toes, sit on your heels and sit up. How are we doing? We okay? Can't figure out where to put this microphone today. It's all right. And what you'll notice here is having a block changes the angle. And it doesn't make it easier or harder, it makes it different. It means you have to pay attention, you have to check into where you're at. Let's see how the other side looks. I'll switch sides just so I can see you. All right, so you're now back in plank. Your left block goes forward 1/3 of the way. Heels spin, feet stack. Side plank. Boom, pinky finger or index finger, take a big breath in. Exhale, curl it down. Push, 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 push through that bottom hand. Inhale. Remember, you can go curl further. Exhale, curl all the way through to the other block. Inhale. Do about 5 rounds of this. Curl. Now, don't get distracted by the top hand that you don't have to push like crazy on the bottom hand. I think I've got 1 more. Yes, breathe all the way in. Come back to plank. Now from plank, push to down dog. Walk the blocks back to even. Big breath in. Long breath out. How are we doing? Walk your blocks to the middle of the mat. Walk yourself forward. Stand yourself up on the blocks. I'm going to turn forward so I can see you and you can see me, but you stay where you are. And now when you're standing in this position on the blocks, start by just making sure you're grounded a little bit. Bounce a little bit on the blocks. If you have blocks, if you don't have blocks, that's okay. You can use nothing. You can use a book if you want to do that, or use anything that gives you a little bit of height. Again, everyone to each their own. I would always suggest that if you are doing a home practice and you're set up for practice, blocks and a strap are always going to be helpful tools. Good. Now, when you're on your blocks, what would be great is if you can lift the toes so it's just the balls of the feet and the heels. Good, balls of the feet and the heels. And as you do that, can you lift the arches of the feet so it sucks on up and then stand a little bit taller. Good. Now I want you to imagine yourself here in Tadasana, just like this. Hands to the side, hands together, doesn't make a difference. And just ever so slightly shift the weight to the right and let that left foot just almost hang in the gap here. Good. Now see if you can level out of Tadasana even though one's on a block and one's not. And then just notice the difference. Without bending your right knee, literally just let your hip dip and let your left foot comes close to the floor as it goes. See how everything comes off center? Push up. Good. Do that again. Hip dips. Right, that's that coronal frontal movement. And come strong and straight. Good. Toes are lifted. Bring that left knee towards the chest, please. Good. And as you bring that left knee towards the chest, what I'd like you to do today is I'd like you inhaling that knee comes up. Do this with your hands on your hips. Exhale, heel goes back like warrior 3. Now, to bring your knee back to your chest, don't bend it too early. I want it to come straight through that gap where the blocks are. So my right knee bends. As I stand up, I literally am grazing my left foot on the floor. Inhale, up. Exhale, kick it back. Bend your right knee. Actually, this might be helpful. Have a look at me real quick. Put your right hand and your left hand on your right knee. Or sorry, top of your right femur. And that might give you a little bit of stability. And for some reason, I need it today. Good, I'm standing up, I'm staying low, I'm grazing the foot, standing up, and then warrior 3, go again. Whoa. Keep it going. One more time. Next time you come up, knee to chest, stand on both blocks. Ugh. I've got no balance today. How you doing? You okay? Second side. Good. Move to the left block. Bring your right knee up. Hands on hips or hands on knee, your choice. Take a big breath in. Exhale, warrior three. Good, and then stand up, graze the floor. Right knee goes up. Exhale, send it back, warrior three. Bend the left knee, whoa, graze it, stand up. Bend it, send it out. Graze the floor, lift it up. One last time. Exhale, send it out. Raise it, lift it up. And then stand. How's that? Is that good? I could shake the legs out. Okay, from here, take a tree pose on the right side. However, I want you to do it this way. Move into the right foot. Just take that left foot straight up and figure four tree. So I want it relatively open today. And when you're relatively open, keep this figure four open. I want you to take the heels of your hands, slide them up to your hip creases, and press them down as you sit into the tree. I mean, you can call it a tree or a figure four, either one. And then move the spine up and away. Oh, I really have no balance today. Settle your breath. Inhale. Exhale. It's probably because I'm not breathing. Big breath in. Long breath out. Inhale. Right knee comes to chest. Exhale, place it down. I find a lot of times in asana practice these days, we're zipping and flying through postures, or we're doing it, wobbling out of it, and moving on. What I want you to do is I want you to do it again with the intention of smoothing out the creases on arrival and exit. So if you need to, watch me. Otherwise, you do the exact same thing again. Find the breath. And it can be that simple. Sometimes the best practice we need is refinement, settling, noticing, being in the prana of the practice as opposed to just in the action of it. Let's do the second side. Shift your weight left, please. So maybe straight away you can lock into a smoother version in. Right knee goes up. Exhale, figure four. Stay for a breath. Settle for a breath. Inhale the knee. Exhale to the floor. Straight away, one more time. If it's working really well, close your eyes. Exhale. Inhale. And release. Take a full breath in. Bring your hands all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. And just stand for a moment, Tadasana. Notice and feel that rhythm of movement, settling. And where are you in that realm of checking in, checking out? Feel how the breath just literally lets you land into each moment as is. Take a big breath in. Long breath out. Super. Inhale, sweep your hands to the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Take a halfway lift. Place your hands somewhere where you can anchor. Step off the blocks and back to a plank pose. Move your blocks out of the way, please. Downward facing dog. Big breath in. Long breath out. Bend your knees. Go ahead and walk, step, or jump up to your lap. And sit back to your heels for a moment. So in a lot of ways, this practice gives us simple opportunity to kind of really notice. And you want your strap because we're headed back towards the floor. And we're going to do some last releases in this practice. And so as we start to head back towards the floor, take your strap with you. And as you lie down, make sure there's enough space on either side of you for the legs to go wide. And I want to start very simply, crossing the right leg over the top of the left, so a figure 4 on the floor. And before we go any wider, I want you to bring your left knee up towards your chest. So thread the needle. Any variation is fine. Big breath in. Long breath out. Let the nervous system settle here as you soften into the pose. And then as you put your left foot back on the floor, can you keep your right leg in the air with the use of your hands or your elbows, just so it is a little bit more freestanding? If you're in the elbows, it means you have a little bit more of a cradle. And either which way, it's a little bit of a rocking action side to side. If you're in the hands, does the exact same thing. And then take your right hand, slide it across to grab the big toe and turn this into a half happy baby. And of course, you can straighten your left leg or keep it bent, whatever works for you. And just notice how that lands in the body. Big breath in. Long breath out. Big inhale in. Long exhale out. Good. As you bring that right leg back up, keep it still towards the chest. Bend the knee, right? So it softens the hamstring a little bit. Bring your left knee up and rock yourself up so you still got one leg bent. Okay, so this strap, now you need to buckle it up. So, you might have done this one before, it's quite fun. It's also quite a nice way to close a practice. So if you're working with a typical yoga belt, you take this strap through the 2 rings of the belt, and then you bring it back around to kind of lock it off. Now, where this strap is gonna go, I'm on a relatively longer setting. I'm gonna put it under the ball of my foot here. And then the second option, and if you need to watch, you can watch first, is gonna go behind my head. And so what I'm doing is I'm creating a cradle for the back of my head so the hamstring line can passively get some length and the back of my neck and cervical spine can lengthen up as well. Go ahead, see if you can find this. See what it's like for you today. I look ridiculous, but so do you. We're in it together. And once you find it, it shouldn't be overly active. It should be a feeling of being held. So you don't want your chin tucked to chest. You almost want the head to feel like it's in a pillow, being heavy. And the strap is under the ball of your right foot. And what's nice about this then is it almost allows the body to be held through the strap and the hamstring line. So it has a double benefit to give the body is starting to move into a softer space while also doing a hamstring release. And if the strap length is just right, like mine is, I can't get my head to the floor because it's too much for my hamstring. So it just means I can rest. And again, you can slightly bend the right knee so it's not locking out the joint. And then you need to be here for, 5 breaths or so. For those of you really comfy in the pose or familiar with the pose or itching to go somewhere in the pose, a variation that I sometimes like to do if I feel like it's helpful for my neck or my attention is I'll breathe all the way in here. And then as I exhale, I'll slightly start to turn to the right, let my head steer myself right and get a nice long upper trapezius stretch on the across left shoulder. Might be a little too much, and if it's too much, just use your hands to help you get out of it. And you can stay in the middle. If I want to take the twisted version, I'll breathe in here, back in the middle, and I'll exhale, twist the other way. I'll bring it up, and I'll find whatever sweet spot works for me for the last 3, 4, 5 breaths. And then if I'm really wanting to be technical, I'm going to switch the feet without even getting up. Switch the feet without even getting up. And when I bring my right leg down, I'll probably bend the knee because I don't want to lengthen the hamstring. I just want to keep it nice and soft. And I'll return back to the same shape, knowing that I've got a fresh hamstring to lengthen. And just seeing how that is. I mean, that's one of the things I love about this class is that anything is on the table. And it's one of those things I learned early on when I was a baby yogi is sometimes the best thing you can do is just show up for class and see what happens. Because there's always going to be something meaningful and valuable for you on that day. Might not be what you want, but it probably is something that you need. If you want to open or twist it here, you're welcome to. Inhale through the center. And exhale. You have to go in search of the stretch. Inhale. Big breath in. Long breath out. Once you feel like you've had enough with this, the easiest way out is to slightly bend the knee of the lifted leg, so much so that the strap just softens. You take it out from behind your head, take it out from the foot, rest down to the floor, and just let the body unravel or soften. And I find after a posture like this, a few things will happen. One, I want to just go straight to Shavasana, totally fine. Another one might be I want to move my head, neck, and shoulders and roll a little bit, totally fine. Often the most common thing I'd like to do is to let my heels go further out and let my knees come further in a constructed rest pose and just breathe here. And there's something really special about a practice to check in and check out at the same time, where you find yourself almost in this lullaby where you're neither coming nor going, and you are the practice just happening as it is. And usually it's not even worth trying to figure out, is it what you need right now? Because that will reveal itself as the rest of the day goes on. And it's just noticing the stillness and the quiet that comes when wildly these days we sometimes need someone else to help craft that or create that for us. I'm just as guilty as anyone else. As if you leave me to my own devices and ask me to do something quietly and calmly, I very likely will do something, clean something, scroll around on something, type up something, read something. Not always. You get what I'm talking about though. And so one of the valuable things that we can always do is put ourselves in good company to be with people who help us remember the necessary need that comes from good quality rest and stillness. And that's what I mean when I say to check in to check out. As always, in a practice like this, you are more than welcome to stay here for as long as you'd like today. You're in whatever space works for you. But here's where we'll close the practice today. So if you would like to find your way up into some sort of a closing seat, now's the moment for that. Otherwise, if you're staying on the floor, stay where you are. Own your rest and be with it. If you want to seal in your practice very simply with me, with a breath and an Om today, we do that now with a full inhale and an exhale. A simple soft Om to yourself. Breathe in. We honor the space and all that it is. And today, and hopefully more often, we can find a space that allows us to check in and check out and give us the gift that is yoga. Together we say, Namaste. It was so nice to practice with you today, something a little softer and simpler. And as always, I hope it was something valuable that can add to your day and to your practice. We'll see you again soon.